Hello, English 113 Online, Fall Semester 2017, Shaw University. Welcome to week 9. Yay, yay, yay. Okay, so what's going to happen this week? Well, we are going to introduce Paper 2. Paper 2 is directly related to Paper 3. And so the amount of time and effort you put into Paper 2 will make Paper 3 a lot easier for you. Two different types of papers that are related on a theme, which you will see. And we're also going to review MLA formatting, since the next two major papers need to be in MLA formatting, and we want to make sure that you do that correctly. Okay, so there's a few things we're going to do, watching the video, which is right now. Alrighty, so there is an MLA formatting video. This video walks you through step by step on how to create a paper in MLA formatting. So if you forgot, you don't know how to do it, you've never been taught, whatever, this will walk you through. And there's a PDF right here which shows you what it should look like when you're done. So if you click on this, it looks like this. This is a properly formatted MLA paper. As far as font and the spacing and everything. This is what it should, this is the proper setup. And again, if you don't know how to do that, watch this video. It shows you how to do that. Yay for MLA. Now, Writing Project 2 and Writing Project 3 deal with research. You're going to be doing research on basically raisin in the sun. So this video right here just kind of covers some of the basic concepts of research. And it's a good refresher that will help you with the upcoming assignment. It's not very long, but it's a good refresher. Again, you should have done research before you got to 113. That's the thing. And then paper 2, which is the annotated bibliography. The what? The what? Okay, well, the good news is there is a lecture by itself that shows you. Oh, there it is. Okay. Yes. So watch this video that explains how to do what an annotated bibliography is and basically how it's going to help you. The actual assignment is right here. Okay, so let's take a look at the actual assignment for Writing Project 2. So Writing Project 2, go back a second. Annotated bibliography is basically you are finding sources for your research, and that's the bibliography part of it. Bibliography, you're finding sources for your paper, which you're going to write, which is paper 3, and you're going to take notes. So basically you find some sources and then you just kind of make some notes on it. What kind of notes do you take? Well, that's what Writing Project 2 is all about. So let's take a look at Writing Project 2. So, Writing Project 2 is an annotated bibliography. Okay, so in connection with Writing Project 3, you will be required to develop an analysis in which you explore a literary work and identify the theme of the work, arguing one of the following. Now, the literary work, and I'm going to say this over and over and over and over, we are doing a raisin in the sun for this class. We are doing a raisin in the sun for this class. You don't get to choose literary work. We're doing a raisin in the sun in this class. The reason being is that I know there is research out there in which you can do a paper on. It's a good source to be able to do these assignments. There you go. Now, we are going to be doing this first option. In what ways does the author use narrative devices to develop the identified theme? So basically you're like, what? Okay, so we have to figure out what theme is, and we have to figure out what narrative devices are. Okay, basically, and again, there's lectures on theme and stuff which will come up and we'll talk about. But basically you just need to find some sources that will help you figure out the theme of Raisin in the Sun. So I would do research for what is the theme of Raisin in the Sun. Now, when you do the research on the theme of Raisin in the Sun, and there's more than one theme in Raisin in the Sun, the research will talk about narrative devices. So don't get too hung up on that for right now. So just again, right now all we're doing is just gathering information. Okay, so we're going to find some research to help us figure out what the theme is of Raisin in the Sun, and then through the process we'll figure out what the narrative devices are. Okay, got that. All right. So, again, we're going to collect our data and some resources. So what you're going to do, you're going to collect a total of 4 sources that explore the narrative devices of your selected piece, which again is Raisin in the Sun. So you need to find 4 research papers, or basically articles, written on Raisin in the Sun that talk about the theme of Raisin in the Sun. 4 of them. 4 different sources. Okay? And basically we're trying to help you understand the concepts that are written in these articles. So someone wrote an article Let's say Mr. Jones wrote an article on Raisin in the Sun that describes his interpretation of a theme. Okay, so you found this article and it talks about Mr. Jones, and he's talking about his concepts of theme, the theme of Raisin in the Sun, and in so doing, he talks about the narrative devices, basically how the author wrote, what the evidence is, or what the author did to help develop the theme. That's narrative devices. Okay. So you find this one source, okay, and then you need to evaluate each source, okay? So, now understand that not all of these bullet points are going to pertain to each one. Now, if you're kind of freaking out, just take a deep breath. It's going to be okay. Take it through step by step. So you find one source first, okay, and then you just kind of read these questions and kind of consider, okay, what did you learn from the source? You know, what's the thesis? Just your understanding of what the article wrote about Raisin in the Sun. Again, this is a research article you found, so you kind of just evaluate, okay, that research, not the book, but the research that you did, okay, you're going to kind of answer these questions. In addition, okay, now, the authors of the research you're going to be doing, okay, they are going to have different ways of trying to persuade you that what their interpretation of the theme is correct. So if I read Raisin in the Sun, I'm going to say the theme is whatever I believe the theme is. And if I'm going to write a paper on it, I'm going to explain why I think that is the theme. And I'm going to try to persuade everyone that I'm correct. Now, part of it is ethos, logos, and pathos. I should learn that in one of the earlier classes, and we'll do a review of that next week. So don't worry too much about that right now. But for this point, just go ahead and figure out, okay, what did they do to try to convince you that their theme was correct? And then last but not least, you're going to conclude, okay? So there's three parts of each, the three sections here of each source. Okay, so again, we'll show you an example in a second. The last one, you're like, okay, just kind of answer these questions. Again, so you may have read A Raisin in the Sun, and you may have an idea of what the theme was, and then you read somebody else's work, and they may have had a different interpretation. Did they change your mind? Okay, so if you thought the theme was, let's say, I don't know, what would be a good theme? Life sucks and then you die. Okay, and this source basically said, no, the theme is about the hope of willpower or something like that. So, did they change your mind? Okay, don't be vague. Don't say, no, they didn't change my mind, or yes, they did change my mind. Explain why. Okay, so again, just kind of answer these questions. Now, so the idea here, again, is you find four sources. So again, if I were going to do this, I would find one source, I'd read it, a source that kind of talks about the theme of Raisin in the Sun, and then after reading it, I would answer these questions. Answer these questions first, then I'd answer these questions. Oops, just these questions here. These questions. Come on. And then I'd answer these questions for that one source. Okay? Then I would go back and do that again for a total of 4 times. 4 sources, you're answering these questions for each source. An example of what this would look like when you're done is this. Okay? So there's the source, okay, right there. This is where they evaluated the content. This is where they evaluated the rhetorical setting. And this is where they evaluated the conclusion. Okay, and that's just for one article. You need to do it for 4. Okay? By doing this, this will really help you get a deeper understanding of Raisin in the Sun, so when it comes time to write paper 3, you will have a lot of information to help you write it. So this is a little tricky, but it can be done, and it is required. It is writing project 2, so it's very important that you do this well. Okay, so going back to our Moodle page, so that's introduced this week. So what do you have to do this week? Well, the only thing you really have to do is a little quiz here on MLA formatting, because I'm going to give you some time to start working on writing project 2. So you have basically, you start working on this on October 9th. Okay. If you peek ahead till next week, the first draft of paper 2 is not due until the 20th. So that's like 11 days that you have to just get the first draft of paper 2 done. That's just to get your sources and get some basic information down. And then I will give you feedback, and then you'll have until the 27th to get the final draft of paper 2 done. So it seems like it's a lot of work, but do the best you can. Put the first draft here again. That's next week, okay? And then I get your feedback, and then you can do turn the final draft. So if I were you this week, again, watch these things. Start working on your annotated bibliography. Again, you have some time to work on it. Don't wait to the last minute, but that's the thing. So, and again, strongly state this. The time and effort you put into writing Project 2 will save you a lot of time and effort for writing Project 3. So this is where you want to put your effort. Is this one right here. Okay? All right. I know this can be a little confusing. Again, just step by step, find a source. What is the theme of Raisin in the Sun? Find a source, answer these questions for that source, move on to the next source. Okay? It's the simplest I can make it. All right, you guys can do this. English 113. Yay! Go